Yeah, we can.
Okay, great. All right, so seeing there's a couple of problems. This is weird. I don't know why there's no error by saying that there's a problem, so no problem. Let's just run this. Let's do this on the and then we can now check it out and tweak a few things to see how it works. Then maybe on Saturday we can then move on to more complex stuff. And it keeps reducing. First time we had 12 persons, or let's say 11 persons. Second time we had 8 persons, and now we're having 4 persons. Are they tired? Okay, so because it's the first time, it's going to just run through a lot of checks. So let's just give it a second. Okay, great. So it's run. Now I'm going to test this out to show you what ASPNET MVC and show you. So this is what? No, this is not what I asked for. Did I start the wrong app? I didn't start the wrong app actually. What's wrong? It's weird. Okay, let me do this. Let me start it off in incognito or in private window rather. Some other application is not running. Oh, my system is freezing up a bit. Okay, let's see. Are you running? It's not running. It's not running. So this is the Blazor app. I'm going to close this just for safety purposes, and I'm going to try. That's not what it's supposed to do this here, and come back here. Okay, great. So this is our MVC. So we've not done anything, right? We've not done anything. This is what is coming with our ASP.NET MVC application. Comes with a front end and a back end. Kind of works like that, right? It's a singleton application where you have the back end, the front end, everything in one solution, right? So this navbar and these contents, I'm going to show you where they are right now. So let me show you. That's if you're into the front end kind of thing, right? So if you come to the index.html, you see this welcome, learn about, come to the website, welcome, learn about building web apps with ES. And if I go to shared, go to layouts, you see this navbar here. That's MVC, home and privacy, as you can see. Then the footer, if I go down here, the footer says copy 2022 MVC, blah, blah, blah. Copy 2022 MVC. Because the reason why it's right here in the layouts is because it's shared. It's shared between 2 pages right now. If I go to privacy changes, right? Privacy policy uses page to detail your site privacy. That's what we have in privacy policy. Uses page to detail your site privacy. But where's the navbar layout? The navbar and the footer. So every other page is using it, right? Now, so let me just play around this a bit, right? I want to add a new page, add the link to the navbar, and just add a few contents. So what I want to do is I'll go to layout, right here in the UL, right? I'm going to add my own LI. So this is HTML. I'm typing up item like the rest because it already has its style. I'm going to come with a closer. Then instead of it, I'm going to say anchor tag class tag. ESP area. I don't need this actually. So I could do without it for this one. It's already red, but I can do without it for this one. So controller. So now what I want to do is I want to create a new controller and a new action for my stuff, for what I'm creating. And what I'm going to call it, I'm going to call it about. I'm going to call it about. The controller will be about the action. So ASP action. Action is the method in the controller that is going to carry out whatever action I want it to carry out, right? Index. It's going to do the controlled stuff I need it to do. Then I'm going to close this, and it's going to close on the other end. It's supposed to close on the other end, but it's not closing, so I'm just going to close it myself, right? And then I'm going to call it about me, right? So now I've added this link here. It's going to add about me here so that we don't take much more time. So what I want to do next is I already have that link. What I want to do next is I want to create a folder for the controller, right? Or let me start from the controller itself. I need to create a controller for it. So I'm going to say new, let me try create a new controller. Hopefully it works. It's not working. So it's not working. So I'm going to just copy this. So I'm tired of typing. Just go to create a new class. I'm going to call this class about controller. Now, when I do this, right, the only thing that this ASP.NET is going to recognize is about, right? Because the controller is just telling it that it's a controller. Just like this home controller, it's going to recognize just home, and that's why the home will be here, right? But for about, it's going to recognize about. So I need to create a folder called about, but I'll show you later. So let me press enter it has already created its class and all of this. So since it's a controller, it has to inherit from controller. And controller is gotten from ASP.NET. They've already created a class called controller in Microsoft.ASP.NET core.mvc. And inside of that class, let's see if we can go to the definition. It has a couple of things. It has something called a view bag. We're going to look at it later. It has view data, temp data, expose, JSON, on action executed, on action executing, on action executing, a sync, partial view, view components, and a lot of other stuff that have already been written by Microsoft for us to use, right? So let's use them. Right now, what I need is the action. We're already in the controller. I need the action. I'm going to say public. The return type for this scenario is called iAction result, right? Remember, we've been doing return type. So I'm creating a method, right, inside my class. And the return type is iAction results. Now I'm going to call it index because that's where I want the about me data to live in. Now, what I want to do is I want to return view like the other ones, because if we go into home, it's just going to return view. So what it's going to do here is we're going to check the about folder in the view and look for the index page inside of it. They return what is inside that index page. But I'm not going to put that now. I'm just going to start it off again and click on it so that we see what's going to happen when we click on it. Okay, starting it again. About me up here on the navbar. Yeah, so this is it here. And if you check down here, it says localhost. Let me try to zoom in a bit. I don't know if that's going to affect. It's not going to affect it down there anyways. Okay, so localhost /about/index. It's supposed to be /about/index, but any URL that ends with an index, like this home index, does not show the index on there. And even for home, it does not show the home index, and that's how it has been configured. But for about me, I'm going to show just about, and as you see, it's train and error because it's not saying it's. Now, this is what's happening. Invalid operation exception. The view index was not found. The following locations were searched. Views about index.cshtml. So what that means is, you try to look for, let me close this and close this. You try to look for, inside of our view, look for an about folder, and inside of it, look for an index.html, but you didn't see that. Then you went on again to look for views inside the shared folder and look for index.cshtml. Inside the shared folder, there's also no index.cshtml. So you didn't find the view, right? You found the controller, quite all right. This is the controller, right? But then it's now going back to the view. Remember what we said about model view controller? They have to work together. It's now going back to the view and it cannot find the view. And that's why it's screaming this error that, oh, I'm going to add this one. First, add a folder called about. Then inside of it, add a file called index.cshtml. So, right, that's another thing you need to know. HTML, normally, the extension is HTML. But for C#, it's either you use a razor page or you use razor components or stuff like that, right? But we're using a razor page here. It's called CSHTML for the extension. It kind of works like HTML, right? But then you can add C# into your HTML in such a situation. As you can see here, this is C# code. You can add it into your HTML, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this and paste it in here. And I'm going to rename it to about me. So this view data title is going to be what's going to show on the title. Let me go back. I'm going to privacy. So you see this privacy policy MVC. That is what's inside the view data here. Privacy policy. The MVC is what is in layouts, right? So what happens here is it gets the view data title and puts it before MVC in the layout. So you see that they are all communicating with each other. So let's come back in here. I'm going to just say about me. Then to just make it a little bit nicer, instead of writing, I'm just going to draw a table. C ed C C H name CH. So this is just HTML, right? So just ignore it. I just want to show something. Name and language. Just going to put this there. So then see shoot. Yep, better. Oh, what's happening? Better. See, goodness me. All right, now CT. I'm just going to put name as Gabriel, and language I'm going to put as shoot. CD as C#. All right, great, awesome. So now let's test this out again. We have our page now, and we're going to run it. Okay, so running it now, let's go back here and click about me. Then we should have our page and our table. Great. So about me, name, Gabriel, language, C#, right? So this is just me playing around. Nothing really fancy, just as you can see. All right, so this is how far we can go on this introduction to ASP.NET. Probably on Saturday, if I'm stronger, would dig deeper. But right now, do we have any questions for those of us that are remaining on the call? Any questions? Yeah, it is recorded. I'll try to deploy it before. I'll try to post it on YouTube before the next call, so it's recorded. All right, so let's round up here. We'll see you again on Saturday. Have a nice evening, everyone. Bye.